Hey, what's up, YouTube? James Hoff out here in Southern California. Thank you so much for tuning into my content. Make sure you add yourself to my texting contacts. You can text 949-216-5448 and be part of my texting community. It's 949-216-5448. Got a few videos we're going to be talking about open houses. This is one of them. And the first thing I really want to talk about with respect to open houses is how do you host a more traditional open house in this kind of weird environment that's going on? Like, what if you don't have sanitizer and wipes to put out to thank people for coming in? What are we going to do? You got your sign-in book, you're shaking hands, you're giving hugs and kisses or whatever, high fives on the way out the door. I don't know. It's kind of weird. So a couple of things. I saw a post that says a handshake is the most common way that you can pass germs to one another in a business environment. All right. A high five reduces that by 50%. The transfer by 50%. It's quicker. It's not as much contact. All right. A fist bump is a good way. It reduces what you get from a handshake. It reduces the transfer by 90%. And they say that the finger is the only way to communicate without actually transferring. I'm just kidding, guys. Don't listen to any of that. That was just my little. Did I break the ice? Are we cool? All right. Anyway, it's like a Top Gun. No, not the finger. Anyway, whatever. I'm going off on a tangent. Here we go. So let's talk about a traditional open house. Forgive the rant. First and foremost, as long as you're still able to not have to be quarantined, look, limit your exposure to other people, but business as usual otherwise. You still got to be out there and produce. You got to put food on the table, guys. I know there's financial resources available or coming available, but it's not like all that stuff happens immediately and all at once. And, you need to take the appropriate precautions. So if you feel like you need to mask up or wear gloves or do whatever, do what you got to do. But in a traditional open house, I'm going to share a few things with you about why my business at an open house doesn't actually change at all. My open houses don't have to change at all. One, because I can do virtual open houses without problem. I've already done those. But also a traditional open house for me doesn't change. And here's why. Okay. Number one, I don't have a sign-in book. And you don't have to have one either. I know. Well, the seller requires sign-in. No, they don't. Well, I have to have the sign-in for my safety. No, you don't. Because you're not going to go up and be like, oh, well, officer, this person came in and threatened me, but I got their email, so we should be good. No, it's not going to happen. All right? That's not how life works. Get over it. So what I want you to consider doing is not having a sign-in book at all. This handy-dandy device is so cool. It's called the cell phone. And what you're able to do is actually text people right there. And if you want to know the best way to know for sure right then and there that the contact information that you're getting is real, tell someone to text you their info right there. And guess what? The virus, it doesn't go from one text message to another, right? But the contact info will. So here's what I would recommend at your open houses. Number one, get rid of your sign-in book. Okay? You don't need everyone touching the pen and the paper and all that. It's a recipe for disaster. Whether you're in a contaminated area or not is irrelevant. Right now, we're just trying to all exercise some better practices to just keep ourselves in our spaces a little cleaner and just to, I don't know, extend our personal bubbles by a few extra feet, right? So what I want you to practice doing now is rely a little bit more on the quality of the conversation that you have when people come in the door. Stop with the handshaking. I actually don't shake hands. I haven't shook hands with people when they come in the door anyway. Mostly because when people come to an open house, they're not coming to talk to me. They're coming to see the freaking house. So what I like to do is, here we go. I'm chilling over here, and I'm just kind of hanging out, whatever. And somebody comes walking in the door. I'm like, oh, hey, how are you? Hey, guys, I'm James. I'm the realtor here today. You guys familiar with the area? Oh, that's great. Well, I'm glad you're familiar with the area. Let me just give you a 30-second overview of the house, and I'll set you free if that's cool. Awesome. Well, this is a 27 square foot house. It's a 3-bedroom plus a loft. It's got 2.5 baths. All the bedrooms are upstairs. You'll see the loft right at the top of the stairs. Some have talked about converting that into a 4th bedroom. Use your imagination. Sellers have put over $100,000 of upgrades into this house, and they've only owned it for 2 years. They redid all the landscaping, obviously, when they first got the house. Absolutely beautiful, 2-car garage. Make sure you check the master bedroom for the second closet. It's kind of hidden behind the door over there. And we're listed at $965. Been on the market for 2 weeks. All right? Awesome. Brochures are in the back in the kitchen. If you don't mind just grabbing one for each of you if you'd like. And let me know if you have any questions, and I'll catch up with you at the end. All right, thanks. So 30, 45 seconds. If you're me, it's like 10 minutes. I'm a bit of a rambler in that way, but give them the information that they came in for and then set them free, okay? It allows for social distancing immediately because you've invited them to walk away. If they have a question, they may call you and, hey, James, back here in the kitchen. Hey, question, what kind of stone is this on the counter? I'm not going to shout back to them. Oh, cool. Yeah, let me come back that way. And I'll pop over and give them the answer, right? And then if they have more questions, I might walk with them for a minute, but then I excuse myself and I go back to the front. Well, if you need anything else, let me know. When they come back down, or downstairs or come to the front, they're getting ready to leave, I go, is there anything about the house that you just can't stand? Doesn't work for you? Anything that you love to hate? I always ask what they don't like, right? And the reason I ask what they don't like is because then it gives me the opportunity to see if it works for them. Because if they don't like it and it doesn't work for them, then I don't have to keep on trying to sell them on the house. I can just focus and move them somewhere else. Don't judge me for touching my face. I'm not around anybody else in here. And I got sanitizer right here. Here, look at this. All right, got sanitizer right here. There we go. All right, no judgment. Had an itch on my nose. All right, so anyway, and then what I do is I get them talking, right? I get them talking, and if they like the house, then great, I can sell them into it. If they don't like the house, I can start moving a different direction and talk to them about the other inventory. But now I'm adding real value that's contextual to what they're like. I'm not like sitting there talking about the coronavirus. I'm sitting there talking about real estate. And then what's cool is I can go, well, cool. Are you guys working with an agent? Oh, you're not? All right, cool. Well, awesome. Well, listen, if you don't mind, I mean, I'd love to keep up with you. And I don't have a sign-in book because all the freaking germs everyone's paranoid about right now, which, I don't know, blame them or not, irrelevant. Can I send you a text real quick? Let me just shoot you my info so you have it. Can I connect with you after the open house? Whatever, right? And then just send them a text message. Or better, ask them to text you. And it's nice because, A, if they say no, go to hell, awesome. One less person that you have to talk to, right? And if they say, hey, man, yeah, I'll shoot you a text, then their info is right in your phone. People are way, way more likely to shoot you a text than they are to read your email or answer your phone call. And because you hedged your entire bet on your ability to provide value, you actually get their real phone number and their real contact information because you had real conversation with them while they were there. So that's the first thing I'll tell you about open houses. You can create some separation and social distancing, and if you don't have a sign-in book, what a great way to not have to worry about spreading germs and doing all that stuff, okay? The second thing is this, and I said this in another video about if you're showing homes. I'm going to say the same thing about open houses. Without the permission of the seller, I would caution you on going to your open house to prepare it by wiping down all the surfaces with a disinfecting wipe or a cleaner of your preference. Ask the seller to clean before you get there and wipe down surfaces with whatever they already have, or B, if you're comfortable, say, hey, I have some wipes with me or I have some of my own stuff. Here's what I use. Is that okay with you? The reason is because you don't want to introduce something into their house that they could be allergic to, or that maybe they just don't want. Maybe like the wipes that you use are scented and they hate that scent. Be careful of that. It sounds silly and it sounds petty and small, but guys, when things get stressful and unexpected, when people have their kids home from school for 5 weeks, when people, people get stressed and little things make a big difference. Don't assume that what you're using is acceptable to them or appropriate for them. So what I would recommend, I like to say use soap and water at home and use sanitizer if you're out and about because you may not have access to soap and water. If the seller has soap in the bathroom, God, I hope they do, then after people come in or leave, if you've had contact with them or you've touched surfaces or whatever, just go wash your hands at the house. But I would recommend that you don't bring your own stuff in, and you don't wipe down all the stuff. Like, ask your seller to do that before the open house with the stuff that they like, or say, hey, I know we're going to have a lot of people coming into your home. Do you have a place that you keep the wipes or the cleaner or the sanitizer, anything that I shouldn't touch with that stuff? What if they have a really expensive stain on the stairs and you go up there with your wipe and you're like, oh, took that off. I guess it wasn't that expensive, but you see what I'm saying. So I would caution you on that. Obviously, you don't need to be shaking hands and hugging and doing all that stuff. I think I mentioned that before. We got rid of the sign-in book, so that's kind of cool. Don't go around bringing your own sanitizers and all that stuff in. And then, obviously, you're at the house, so if you're going up and down the stairs or if you're touching other surfaces, like I said, just keep your hands clean. I've seen agents that are offering the masks, the surgical masks or the coughing masks or whatever. They put those in the back by wherever their brochures are. I see people giving away antibacterial soap or sanitizers or toilet paper, because apparently there's a big run on that for some reason. And by the way, I say apparently, like, I don't know what everyone's freaking out about. Like I said, I don't know what they were wiping their butt with before, but we've had a run on it here too, and I don't get it, but whatever. I'll go out there and hose my rear end off if I have to, I guess. But yeah, so in an open house environment, you can still host a very traditional open house if you would like. And I would very highly encourage, especially during this time, and I'll go more in detail on this in another video, but I would really encourage, if you haven't been doing this already, making sure that you break out your cell phone and start going on to social media or recording video. You know, hey guys, what's up? I'm at my open house on 123 Sample Street, and here's what we got going on. Like, you guys are amazing. I want to give you the tour in case you can't make it out today, or if you've already been quarantined, here we go, blah, 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 right? And knock it out of the park. Guys, if you're in an area that's told you to stay inside or to stay quarantined and to not come out, then don't. My understanding as of the moment I'm making this video is, if you don't have to go out, then limit your exposure to people. That's the whole point of all this. But if this is your livelihood and going out is a necessity, then take the appropriate precautions. I hope this video has given you some good ideas on how you can facilitate a fairly traditional open house and basically reduce your contact to nothing with other living souls, and still allow you to stay in a sanitary and safe environment. As always, use your best judgment and follow the directions of your local, state, and federal law, and officials and first responders and anybody else that's telling you that has some kind of authority, because I don't. But one man's opinion about things that you can do, things that have been really successful for me, because these are practices that I've already been putting in place. So fortunately for me, this isn't disruptive to my traditional open house strategy, because I'm not out there like getting all like, you know, in people's space anyway. If you want to make it in this business, remember, you got to work for it. So make sure you get out there and just play the game. Don't forget to join my texting community. You can add yourself to my contacts by texting 949-216-5448. Again, it's 949-216-5448. And also remember, real agents work. You got to be one of them. We'll see y'all soon.